What is up, you guys? It's Nikita, aka the Airbnb RN, and today we're gonna talk about, can you still make money with Airbnb? It is 2026, so can you still make money with Airbnb in 2026? I am gonna be starting a series talking about the most frequently asked questions as it relates to Airbnb. Whether that be people asking chat, whether that be people asking Google, whether that be people asking me, what are the top questions that we get in regards to Airbnb? Okay, and hopefully this will help you. When I first started off, I wish I had someone to answer questions for me. I was on Google, I was on YouTube University, I was talking to people, but a lot of times those people did not have the insight in order to give me the answers to the information that I was seeking, but more so just their opinions of what they think I should do. So I hope this helps somebody, and if it does, definitely drop it in the comments. If you have any questions, definitely drop those in the comments. So, can you still make money with Airbnb in 2026? The short answer is yes, but a lot of times when you're first starting, you don't think about all the factors that go into having an Airbnb or short-term rental business until you're in the thick of it, and then now you're like, oh, I didn't think about this, I didn't think about that. But when it comes to making money, things go into it. So one thing being the market that you're in. You have to do market research. This is something that I didn't know when I first started. Market research is going to be super important because that's how we're going to know basically how profitable our property may be, or if this is an area that we should invest in. So market research can be as simple as you thinking about a market, going on Airbnb and looking at similar properties that you're interested in that market, looking at how long have they been a host, looking at their calendar, looking at their reviews. That tells you a lot right off the bat. Also within that market research goes you seeing who's your target audience in that particular market. So example, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. One of my mentees is in Nashville, Tennessee. Two completely different markets. That market is like bachelorette parties, bachelor parties. It's like the, what would you call that? Not the honeymoon. Like you go to celebrate basically. As opposed to the market that I am, this is kind of a military market where we have two Navy bases here. We have people always being relocated here. It's always also construction work going on here. So I get a lot of contractors and construction workers here. So two totally different markets. So now when you're looking into your markets, you have to see who is going to be staying at this place. Imagine you get somewhere out in the country. Your Airbnb versus my Airbnb might do two separate numbers because who's going out there? Yeah, you might have some people, but who are those people? Who's going to be the people that you're targeting versus who I'm targeting? So that's something that you also have to consider. Another thing, and then I'll wrap this one up, is the cost of living of each market. A lot of times we get out of our own lane and start looking into somebody else's lane that is doing the same thing as us, but we have to stop and think. We got to worry about what we got going on because they're in a whole nother market, and unless we are able to talk to them, get the breakdown, we don't know are they doing better than us or about the same as us, because the cost of living is high everywhere. But example, Nashville market as far as rent goes is completely different, and cost of living is completely different than the cost of living here in Jacksonville where I am. So I have to take the information that I'm getting at my own market and the rents and the possible profit, and then come up with my nightly rate to get my profit, versus Nashville people are they're taking how much their rent is, which example, a one bedroom can be about $3,000 versus a one bedroom in my market is about $1,500 to $1,600. Completely different. So each person has to do their own research into the market that they're interested in, and then do the enemy method. Go into Airbnb, look around, use rental analyzers, and look around to see what the competition looks like versus looking at somebody else and trying to gather that. Can it replace my job? That's the next question that goes with this topic. Can Airbnb replace my job? Short answer, yes, it can. And I say this easily because imagine this. And I'll try to put some numbers on the screen somewhere to show you an example of one of my properties. But imagine you have a 1-bedroom apartment that's generating you, for easy numbers, $1,000. Okay, that's one. What could that $1,000 pay for you? Think about that. What could it actually pay for you? What bills do you have? Okay, what could 2 of those do for you? Imagine it's netting you $1,000 after all expenses, rent, all of those things are paid for, and you have $1,000 to do whatever you want to do. Now you got $2,000. If you continue to scale and you find a property that works for you in a market that works for you, now you can keep compounding it. And whatever you're making at that job, let's just say you're making $4,000 a month or something like that, then how many Airbnbs would it take for you to be able to make that $4,000 to eliminate your job? I think I made that plain and simple, right? So the answer is yes, it can replace your job if you wanted to. You just have to do the work. How many bookings do you get, or what if you don't get any bookings? I guess it would be the real question. This is a limiting belief that everybody has, and I even face this. Like, anybody that you see that is doing really good, that has scale with the properties, they are no different than you and I. We all fall short of having limiting beliefs. The only thing that's different is some people continue to go after what they want and what they believe in, regardless of those limiting beliefs. So think about this. People always need housing accommodations. No matter where you are, people are always traveling. All times of the day. It's people up in the sky right now traveling, and they're traveling from home to somewhere else, and guess what? They're gonna need housing accommodations. So why can't you be one of those housing accommodations operators, short-term rental host, Airbnb host, VRB host, booking.com host, TripAdvisor host? Like, why can't you be the person that is providing them with those housing accommodations? But it starts with you doing the research and doing the work and just starting, and seeing who is your target person. And also, too, a big one is not ever thinking that you know everything and continuing to learn. So I currently have 8 properties. Every time I went to scale from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3 and so forth, I always had the limiting belief, like, oh my God, I'm getting another one. Okay, how much are my rents? My rents are this much every month. Like, I'm putting out this much money every month. Dang, what if nobody rents? Like, I always still think that, even though I know that it's working with what I've already done. But the thought always sneaks in my head. But regardless of the thought, what do? I still do the thing. I still do the thing. Okay? So that's what you have to do. A lot of us, we let our limiting beliefs and we let other people that have not done what we're doing get in our head and tell us, do you think that's a good idea? Or what if this happens? Or you shouldn't do that because that's very risky. And then we be like, yeah, you're right. Let me just stick to what I'm doing, going to work or whatever, making my check. That's guaranteed. So I know that's not risky. But as we just saw, and I saw this morning, early this morning when I got up and started scrolling, Spirit Airlines. Who would have thought that they would close down overnight? Who would have thought that? An airline company with pilots, flight attendants, people on the back end, people on the tarmacs, all of that stuff. Who would have thought that they're up in the sky? People will probably still up in the sky, flight scheduled in the future, that overnight people are going to lose their jobs. Just like that. So it's like, we all think that job security is literally everything in every job that we work, whether that be a nurse, that's what I am, whether that be whatever you do. We think that a lot of times it's so secure, and I'm sure those people thought the same thing. But look, overnight they don't have a job, all other bookings canceled. But what if they had something on the side that could provide them an additional income that would at least cushion what was going on right now. It didn't have to be replacing all of their job funds, profits, or whatnot, but just a little bit would just take the stress off. I'm still working as a nurse PRN right now. So, but I literally just started back. Like next week is week 2. Prior to this, I've been off for 2 months. My Airbnbs have been holding it down. So that would, if they had something on the side, that would have just really helped. And I know a lot of them possibly do have stuff on the side, because in this day and age in 2026, I feel like it's almost kind of normal that people know their gifts, what they're good at, what they would like to do, and then they just start doing it and they start making a little extra on the side. But there's still a lot of people that don't, and they just go to work and then do their thing, and then go to work and do their thing. And then when something happens, when life lives, it's like, dang, what am I gonna do? So anyways, I hope that this video helps somebody. A lot of people wonder, can Airbnb still make money? Like I said, Airbnb is always going to be needed. And just think about it like this. Airbnb is just the top name. It's the most popular. It's like toilet paper, Charmin, Angel Soft. There are so many other brands, you know that, right? So if you hear me say short-term rentals, it's the same thing. Short-term rentals are what it is, but Airbnb is just a brand. VRBO is just a brand. The booking.coms is just a brand. Okay? So it's definitely possible to do. It's not going anywhere, short-term rentals. People are always going to need housing accommodations. And regardless of what you hear online, social media loves negative. Like if I post something negative, some criticism or a strong belief that I have, that always is going to go versus me posting something positive. So when you're seeing the Airbnb parties, the people trashing the house, the squatters, no one likes Airbnb anymore, this is why I choose hotels. That's the negative. But there's always positive out there. And it's still a group of people that only prefer Airbnbs because they've had nothing but positive experiences. You just probably don't see them as much as the negative. Okay? I was reading about the Spirit Airlines earlier today at the top of my screen. I'll put it up here somewhere. The top of my screen, boop, another booking came in. So whether you're working or not, people are looking for housing accommodations. Trust me. People are looking. People are searching. People are traveling. And that's the type of stuff that now I'm rambling. Everything is wrapped up right here. That the education was at the back of the video. But I just always be thinking, like, I don't know if it's differently or I just think it's differently. But years ago when I went to Rome, I was just thinking, all of these people are here right now visiting Rome. Right now is somebody working. Right now, literally right now, everything is happening. So right now, people are looking for housing accommodations while we're sitting here talking about this. Why can't it be your house that they're looking for? Your apartment that you don't even own, that you can use to save money. And if you want to own a house and rent it out, save that money, then purchase a house that you can use and rent out yourself. Why can't it be you? Anyways, that's my spiel, and this is the first video in the series of my most frequently asked questions about Airbnb. And hopefully this series will help you guys decide if you want to be an Airbnb host. Being an Airbnb host definitely usually leads to being a VRBO host, being a booking.com host, because you want to have your properties in front of as many people as possible. And like I said, they're just brands. So you want to have them on as many sites as you can to get as many bookings as possible. But hopefully this video helps. And it's just the first in a series of those questions. And if you guys have any additional questions, definitely drop them below. I would love to add it to the series, and I would love to answer the questions for you. You can follow me on Instagram, the Airbnb RN, and I post every single day.